Have you ever noticed that everything you buy kind of keeps charging you now? I don't mean the obvious bills like rent or utilities. I mean the things that used to feel like yours. Your phone has a payment, your car has a payment, music, movies, apps, they all have payments. Even convenience has a monthly fee now. And honestly, half the time you don't even remember signing up for it. And that's the strange part. People own more things than ever, but somehow feel like they have less control over their money. Modern life didn't just get more expensive, it became recurring. We didn't wake up one day and decide to rent our entire lives. It happened slowly, one normal payment at a time. And if this is how much ownership changed over the last 30 years, the uncomfortable question is what happens over the next 30? Because after enough little payments stack up, the things we buy stop feeling like things we own. They start owning pieces of our future. Picture your money landing in your account. For about half a second, it looks like yours. Then the line starts forming. The car payment is waiting, so is the insurance and the phone bill, the internet, the streaming services, the subscriptions you barely even remember. And then after all that, you still have to put food on the table and pay rent. This is what makes modern life so exhausting. It's not always one giant bill that ruins people, it's the stack. One payment feels normal, 2 payments feel manageable, 3 payments barely feel worth thinking about. But after enough of them pile up, your paycheck stops feeling like something you control. It starts feeling like something that was already divided up before it even arrived. And that is when things you bought start owning you. Not because every purchase is stupid, not because having nice things is bad, but because each payment becomes one more little claim on your life. The reason this works so well is because people do not feel the total cost. They feel the monthly cost. A $1,000 phone sounds expensive, but $40 a month feels normal. A $50,000 vehicle sounds ridiculous, but $700 or $800 a month becomes something people try to fit into the budget. A $100 yearly subscription might make you pause, but $8.99 a month barely feels real. That's the trick. The monthly payment takes something big and cuts it into smaller pieces, enough to ignore. And once something feels small enough, it becomes easier to say yes. Not because you were stupid, but because the number has been changed into something your brain can live with. This is why the total price almost disappears from the conversation. People stop asking, what does this really cost? And start asking, can I handle the payment? But those are not the same question. One asks what a thing is worth. The other asks how much of your pay it gets to own. And this is where the conversation gets a little uncomfortable. Because most people are not walking around feeling rich. They aren't buying yachts, they're not flying private. They're just trying to live a normal life. But normal changed. A phone used to just be a phone. Now it's a device, a payment plan, a data plan, cloud storage, apps, insurance, and an upgrade cycle. Entertainment used to be something you bought once. Now it's 5 different platforms charging you every month. A car used to just be transportation. Now it's a loan, insurance, maintenance, and sometimes even a software subscription. So when people say life feels expensive, it's not because they're being ridiculous, it's just because the baseline moved. The things that used to feel like extra slowly became what we consider the bare minimum. And once normal gets that expensive, you don't feel like you're upgrading your life. You just feel like you're falling behind. The strange thing is, none of this happened all at once. There's an old story about the frog in boiling water. It's not actually true, but the point is useful. Slow changes are almost impossible to notice while you are going through them. Nobody woke up one day and said, I would like every single part of my life to become a monthly bill. It just happened one normal step at a time. One streaming service turned into 3. A phone payment felt weird until everyone had one. A car payment felt massive until prices got so high that monthly payment became the only number anybody talked about. And the dangerous part is that once a line moves, it rarely moves back. Think about it. Some people will completely refuse to spend $1 inside an app, but they'll spend $10 on a coffee without thinking twice. The dollar isn't the issue, the line is. Food is already a category they accept. But the second you buy a little digital upgrade, a skin, a boost, a tiny subscription, a brand new category of spending becomes normal. And that is exactly how this works. The first payment is the hardest one to accept. After that, the next one is easy. Normal doesn't change overnight. It changes when the line moves. And once enough people accept the payment, companies learn something very important. Selling you something once is good. Getting you to keep paying is better. But the deeper shift is that the product is no longer always the finish line. A lot of the time, the product is just the entrance. From your side, it looks like another monthly bill. But from the company side, it looks like something very different. It looks like one customer becoming more valuable over time. At first, it might be the basic plan, then comes the premium tier, then the extra member, then the price increase, and slowly, what started as one simple payment becomes a bigger stream of monthly revenue. That is why so many products slowly turn into plans, memberships, ecosystems, and services. The company does not just want the first sale. It wants to keep building more ways for that same customer to pay. You see it everywhere. The car becomes financing, maintenance plans, connected services, and software. The TV becomes streaming platforms, premium tiers, and add-ons. The app becomes a subscription. The free trial becomes a charge you forget about until it hits your statement. And once that relationship exists, the default changes. If you buy something once, the company has to convince you again the next time. But if you subscribe, finance, upgrade, or connect your account to everything, now you have to make the effort to leave. And most people do not leave, not because they love every single service, but because canceling is annoying, switching is inconvenient, and eventually, the payment just becomes part of the background noise of life. That is the real power of recurring payments. They do not need to feel important. They just need to feel normal. And if you zoom out, this gets even stranger. Think about how many standard bills today did not even exist 30 years ago. Streaming platforms, smartphone plans, app renewals, cloud storage, delivery memberships, and financing plans for things people used to just buy up front, or not even at all. People still had bills back then. Life was not free, but the shape of the bills was fundamentally different. More of modern life now runs through access. You access your music, you access your movies, you access your software, you access your storage, you even access your transportation through a web of payments, insurance, and services. That is the bigger shift. Owning is slowly being replaced by access. Not all at once, not through one giant decision, but through 1,000 small changes that each felt normal at the time. And if that is how much things changed over the last 30 years, the uncomfortable question is, what happens in the next 30? And with the way the future is looking, I think we could all use a little more control over our money. Clearing out those useless payments is a great start, but the next question is, what do you actually do with that money once it stops leaking out? Saving can protect you, but saving alone is never going to build true wealth. And if you want to see exactly how to take that trapped cash flow and turn it into actual freedom, click on this video right here, and I'll break it down.